as a monument to give us some sober reflection of some of the cruel things that had happened in the past, so that we can live a better life, or we can relate with each other better as human beings, rather than what happened some hundreds of years back. So I have with me a tourism industry person, a tourism student who knows a lot more about this monument and its significance. So I brought him here today for him to tell us what this monument is about and how it relates to the Queen of England, who just passed on recently. And I think it's even more significant because of her passing. So we just want to bring you, tell you more about some of the things that are in the northern part of Ghana that is of interest to, or that should be of interest to the British government or to the British people. Okay, so I have with me my good friend Abdulrauf Al-Hassan, who is a tourism student and also somebody who has a lot of interest in local tourism as well as tourism in general. My brother, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay, so a lot of people might be seeing this particular thing right behind us.
Okay.
But I'm sure a lot of people don't know what it is. Can you tell us what exactly this is?
Actually, first of all, let me say everyone watching this is North. It's good to be here. And actually, a lot of people don't know what this is all about. So, to begin with, this particular monument is in significance of King George VI. Actually, we all know, or academia or historians know, that he was born on 14th December 1895. And he was the king of England, and as well as the commons of the Great Britain in the year 1936. So this particular monument, during his coronation, was the same year, 12th May 1937, was the same exact year that this particular monument was built. It was built just as a salute stand to honor him, even though he cannot, or he may not be part of them here, or even though the British that were here could not be part of them at England, but they actually built this particular monument as a salute stand to honor the coronation. And we are talking about this because the daughter just passed on just these few days. That is why it has brought us back here to remind us, and to remind the people of England that there is something here called King George VI.
And actually, I think the history, between Ghana and England, or to put it, in a contextual way, the people of the North and the people of England or Great Britain, right? Because this is symbolic. It tells us that there is a trace with us and the people of Britain or the people of England. What more can you tell us?
Yes, actually, it does, because when the British colonized Ghana, some of them were moved to the northern part of Ghana here, especially Tamale, and they were here in trade of gold, diamond, bauxite, manganese, cocoa. That was the main occupation they were engaging in. And because they were having this relationship with the Northerners, to tell you that years ago, when Queen Elizabeth, who just passed on, may so rest in perfect peace, last came to Ghana, he visited the North. Exactly. Because she knew that there were other British that were in the northern region here, and they were in trading of gold. And
when we went to Yendi,
yes,
in the German cemetery,
exactly,
there were other British who were buried there.
Exactly.
As well,
exactly. So this is the significant aspect and the relationship the British have with the Northerners.
Yeah. So, and as you talk about this particular monument, I think this wasn't the only edifice or the only thing left behind. It's like they were also working from the buildings in front of us, which are now used as. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So actually, when people move to a new location, they will actually need accommodation as well as offices to work with. So actually, the buildings now that the Beth and Deaf are using as their offices, that was the offices that the British was using as accommodation, at the same time offices in trade of gold, like I mentioned, and also diamonds and other things that they trade in. So actually the buildings that you are talking about, they actually have them, they were there and now they still exist, but they are now used as birth and death offices.
Okay.
So actually they were having other buildings and that is what I just talked about.
And what can we, or what should we learn as young people from the northern part of Ghana or Africa, and also young people, I mean, from Britain, who probably might want to come and see this monument? What would it remind us? What's the historic relevance of this particular monument? How should we relate to it as young people? And what should it remind us of each other as a generation? Don't you think that, I mean, young people from both countries should see this as a monument to give us some sober reflection of some of the cruel things that, I mean, had happened in the past, so that we can live a better life, or we can relate with each other better as human beings, rather than, you know, I mean, what happened, you know, hundreds of years back. What do you think about that?
Okay, so that's a very good question. I think that during the year of return in 2019,
exactly,
a lot of tourists in terms of Americans, British, they came to Ghana, but because this thing is not portrayed out there, the British and other Americans did not actually know that this was here.
So do you think that the authorities that are supposed to take care of these tourist attractions or some of these monuments are actually doing enough? Because you mentioned of the year of return.
Yeah.
For me, I'm afraid to say that virtually nobody came to the north. But this alone is a significant reason why a lot of people from the diaspora, from Britain, from America and other places should come to the north to see. Do you think that the authorities, I mean, are doing a great job when it comes to especially tourism in the northern part of Ghana?
Thank you very much. I think, to be honest with you, as a student of tourism and having been around to some of the attraction sites in the northern region, you mentioned of Yendi, for example, we realized that tourist attractions that foreign colonies, talking about the Germans and the British, are left to rot. When you go to Yendi, for example, at the German cemetery, people are farming on it. In fact, we even have to lift some of their graves to put them to their natural position. And I don't think Ghana Tourism Authority or the Ghana Monument and Museums have any fair idea about it. Even if they do, they don't give much attention, especially northern region. I can mention countless of attractions in the northern region
that a lot of people don't know about.
There are a lot of people don't know about, and no attention at all has been given to this thing. I think it will be very prudent if young people take the initiative into tourism, because, like we said, tourism is the engine of growth. And besides cocoa and gold, tourism is the third largest income generator to our economy. So it will be very important that we, the youth that is coming up, to take tourism entrepreneurship programs. We should participate in tourism entrepreneurship programs to actually learn more about the potential tourist attractions that are within the northern region, as well as Ghana, to make sure that we market them out there, promote them and advertise them, so that people at all can come in and invest. Not only coming to see Ghana, but the beauty of Ghana. When they come, they will invest in Ghana. So actually, this is what I think, that when the youth take tourism to be part of their daily life, I think it can help us go forward as a country. A lot of, so many attractions that we have in the northern, nothing. All authorities involved in tourism, talking about the Ministry of Tourism, Ghana Tourism, in terms of tourism aspect in northern, they don't care at all.
So
because
what do you think should be done as a student?
I think what should be done, the stakeholders should come on board. It's about time that we realize the potentials of these great attractions that we have in the north. We mentioned of the year of return. There are about 1.5 million people that came to Ghana. None of them came to the north. The only place maybe you can see them is, we are traveling to Moli just to see elephants. But we have other great monuments that will actually attract them here. So these are things that the people involved in tourism aspect, talking about the Ministry of Tourism, should take the responsibility. Meet with tourism stakeholders, especially the tour guides, that are actually doing it. This is North. It's actually putting the great stuff out there, exposing the natural things that and the potential things that we have in the North to actually let people know what is in the North. People are not giving much attention to those things. So I think that societies involved or stakeholders that are involved in terms of tourism aspects should take the initiative, come on board, meet with communities that attractions are centered, meet with tour operators, meet with tour guides to see to it how they can put, how they can make sure that these things are well established, so that we can get a lot of foreigners coming into the North here, the British, the Germans, the Americans, all of them, because all their ancestors ever left here. So it will be good for them when they hear about some of these things that are in the North. I think they will love to.
In as much as we are calling on people for the year of return, I think the Western world also has, I mean, a year of return here, because there are a lot of their great ancestors that were buried in the North and other parts of, I mean, the regions. So, I mean, it's a good point you made, and I'm really excited we are doing this and we are putting a lot of these stuff on the limelight. And I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of British who see this probably might want to come around and just see what the place is, or just see what the monument is like and have the feel of it. And basically, I think it's in line. And we would also have to call on the authorities to do their best to push the tourist attractions within the northern part, so that it will boost tourism in the country. Thank you very much for your time.
All right,
I'm super grateful.
All right, we are very grateful.
Thanks for the good job.
You can call on me all the time.
Anytime.
And this is North. Follow this channel and make sure that you follow This is North. All good stuffs are coming in terms of tourism aspect, in terms of whatever you can think of, all attractions in the northern region. This is North is doing great stuff there. Follow them on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Follow them everywhere, and they'll continue to give you great stuff.